Hello, my friends. We are officially in September month, and we are kicking it off with a couple things happening in our astrological sky. And today I'm going to be talking about this Pisces eclipse that is happening over this weekend. The full moon starts to move into its place on Saturday, but we don't have the eclipse until Sunday. So this is going to be a whole energy vibe and shift that you're going to want to know about. So let's talk about what an eclipse actually is. This eclipse is eclipsing the moon, right? In about 2 more weeks, on September 21st, we're gonna have a solar eclipse. So therefore, just a little fun reminder for you. I'm Arlene, your human design coach and astrology reader, and follow me for all things astrology and human design. Now back to this eclipse. So first of all, what is an eclipse? Eclipse is when the sun or moon are eclipsing each other. So this weekend, the sun and moon are coming to a shift and the lights are out for the moon. Now, this means that this is a nocturnal eclipse. It's not a solar one since it has to do with the moon being obstructed. So this is more about going within and going really deep and going inwards. And since this has to do with Pisces and Pisces Zodiac sign, Pisces is the nice little fish that wants to go deep and it wants to swim in all the waters and go into the murkier parts if it chooses to. And so with this being Pisces, it's all about going deep within yourself and tapping into maybe these spiritual thoughts, emotional thoughts, going into those deeper realms. And this is also being supported by Saturn, because Saturn has just actually retrograded back into Pisces. It was in Aries and now it's shifted back into Pisces. It'll hang out here for the rest of 2025. But for this eclipse, Saturn is the guy that's going to help hold space for you. He's going to keep you grounded. So usually Saturn can kind of give some lessons. It can be a little bit of a rough energy. He's like, I like to call him like the principal. He's like the grandfather, the dad that's like, hey, get your stuff together. But in this case, since it's in Pisces, zodiac sign kind of sometimes could have no bounds. They just want to keep swimming, just like, you know, the fish from Dory, right? Just keep swimming. But Saturn is like, no, little buddy, you need to be in a little container. So that way you're not just going off into the waters that you don't know where you're going. So let's keep this container nice and tight for you. So that way you can swim as deep as you want, go as high as you want, and you're going to be in a nice little sacred space, a little sacred bubble. Now, also, since Pisces is traditionally ruled by Jupiter, Jupiter is the happy-go-lucky zodiac comparable to Saturn. Saturn is the principal, Jupiter is like the happy, fun uncle. So both of them are kind of in the picture because Jupiter rules Pisces. So this eclipse season, especially being attached to Jupiter, which is also a planet of expansion, really diving deep into philosophy, into spirituality. So I keep saying the same key things, right? Spirituality, philosophy, going deep. So this eclipse is asking for you to go deep, and it's okay for you to go deep. It's okay to go to murky waters if that's what you choose to. And Saturn, the granddaddy of them all, is there to hold space for you and really help you peel the onion if that's what you need to do. He will also be there to make sure that you don't go into those waters for no reason. You learn your lesson, you come out of it. And both Saturn and Jupiter really love to give you lessons. They just may give you in a different way, but they basically are there to expand you and to ground you. So this weekend, do some journaling work that is really grounding for you. Saturn wants you to get to the root and to the bottom of things. It wants to build a foundation for you. Well, Jupiter wants to expand for you. And then there's Pisces, right? Who's just wanting to hold space. Pisces is the healer, one of the healers of the zodiac signs. And so just know that this weekend might be intense and it might be emotional because it's also associated with the eclipse. Eclipse seasons are really deep. They can be very heavy, especially if it's a lunar eclipse. It's more so in the night, right? Prepare yourself for all the things. Also, don't do anything with big manifestation work. This is the time to not do that work. This is the time to go within and go internal. If you're going to manifest, maybe think about creating a sacred space, like foundations for what it is that you want to call in, but you don't really want to be manifesting these bigger things in life under an eclipse season or eclipse days, in a sense. Eclipses, usually the eclipse energy lasts about 6 days after an eclipse and 6 days before an eclipse. So if you're watching this, you probably already feel the eclipse energy, especially if you're a mutable sign. Mutable signs are, drumroll, Pisces, Virgo, Gemini, and Sagittarius. So definitely you're going to be feeling this energy a lot because this eclipse is hitting the Pisces sector of your chart, but it also pings to the other 4 signs in your chart, which are the mutable signs that I just explained. Also, if this Pisces, if your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is especially going to feel this energy in your chart because it's going to be hitting the 4 angles in your chart, which are going to be the 1st house, the 4th house, the 10th house, and the 7th house. And all of those have themes. So if you want to dive deeper into understanding your chart and what do the houses mean and all that stuff, go to the link in my bio. There's a free resource there for Astrology for Beginner's Guide, and it'll help you understand the glyphs and what that means and the houses and all that fun stuff. So go check that out, grab your resources so that you know what to look for this Pisces eclipse that we're about to run into. We're going to be dealing with the energy of it. And also to keep in mind, this is one of a 3-part series. So we just had the eclipse back in Virgo, so it was a Virgo new moon eclipse, and that was in August. So go check out my past video on that. And now we're deep. We were walking into the muddy water, but now our 2 feet are planted into it, and we're like, okay, here we are. And then in another 2 weeks on September 21st, what happens to be my birthday, crazy times, we will be fully stepped into it. And this eclipse energy usually lasts for a year to a year and a half, so about 16 to 18 months, depending on the signs that it's happening in. So just know that you've probably felt this energy last year in September. You probably felt it again in March. And then now here you are again. Check out your chart. This is really important for you to understand what part of life is this going to really influence and change. When an eclipse happens, it's portals, it's doors closes and doors opens, the light turns on, the light turns off. So whatever happens is going to be something that you're going to feel, and expect to feel it pretty heavily if you're a mutable sign, for your sun, moon, rising. And then also expect the lessons to come forward for you as we approach the next couple months. So I hope this helped. I hope you enjoyed learning all about eclipses and what that means. And stay tuned because I will be talking about the Virgo eclipse that's going to be happening in another 2 weeks. And that has a whole nother vibe and a whole nother energy. In the meantime, thanks for listening if you got this far. And if you want to work with me directly, one-on-one, feel free to book a reading with me. I would love to go on these dumpster dives with you.